What's up, MEC? How's everybody doing? Today I'm here with Mr. Anthony Aramini, and we are going to be covering how to get high-end clients using Facebook organically. So first up, if you guys are watching this on the replay, go ahead, let me know. Type replay down below. If you guys are watching this live, let me know, and we'll get right into it. So also, a side note, if you guys are out in Tampa, right after the stream, we're going up to Cash Social Kitchen, and I will see you guys there. So super hyped to get through this one. I've seen, like we were just talking about how crazy it was, both of our transformations in just the last couple of years and having kind of a similar growth path in different areas. And what you've been so focused on and so just crazy getting results with was figuring out how to get more high-end clients. What does that look like? How can we make this replicable? How can we get other people to scale up from, you know, a few thousand a month to the 10, 20 plus range? And that's just been so cool to see. So before we hop into all that and get everything going, would love to hear a little bit more kind of about your story, how you came to this point where you're doing what you're doing now, you're kicking ass, you're teaching this stuff, and really helping people on a big level.
Yeah, so I do appreciate you having me on, man.
Sure.
And for you joining in, I want this to be also a lot more engaging, so let me know down in the comments. Are you a coach? Are you a consultant? Are you a service-based entrepreneur? Are you currently just selling an online course? Like, what are you currently doing to make money? And the second thing I need you to do is also let me know exactly how much money you're currently making per month in your business. So a little bit about me. I got started in the online entrepreneurship game back in 2013. And like most entrepreneurs, what I would just do is just produce a lot of content. Just YouTube videos and Facebook posts and Instagram and Snapchat and
smashing all over social.
Yeah. And supplement all of that. And now you have a blog and you have an email list and you're looking for something to sell. And so I thought coaching might be the greatest industry to get into because I personally have had a transformation myself, going from 305 pounds with a lot of self-esteem challenges early on. And healing through that, I knew there was a story that we can share with the market and the right people would come. And so simultaneously, I was also working full-time in sales. I worked in corporate wellness sales, soon after transition to personal training, selling high-ticket personal training, and then selling real estate as a real estate agent, and simultaneously still working on the online business. So long story short, what really made the difference was around the time when I met my wife, Christine. So I was posting in Facebook groups. We'll be breaking some of this down today in this training. So if you're tuning in right now, then go grab something to take some notes on. When I drop value, you want to pay attention, especially if you like making money and you really want to make a bigger difference within your business and the people you serve. So I met my wife after just literally posting inside of a Facebook group, and she reached out to me. Longer story short, we started dating, and it was around the time when we actually met in person, and I told her, and I said, you and I are going to meet together, live together, we're going to get married, we're going to have a family, and we'll have a business that allows us to do that. Saying that, but then making it happen are two totally different things. And so I just simply made a decision, and I told Christine while we were dating, I said, hey, in May 2017, you and I are going to move down to St. Pete, Florida together, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to make it happen. Now, mind you, like you, I was doing between $4 to $7 grand a month, just doing all this stuff. And so me wanting to get to a place where I had more sustainability, more profitability, more consistency, I knew that my strategy had to change. It couldn't any longer just be about selling these little $1,000 coaching packages where it's 3 months worth of coaching one-on-one, or even upwards sometimes of $1,997. I started asking myself different questions. And I'm going to write one of these questions down for you to also start thinking about, because this is mission critical. The first question is, what can I do, meaning you, to generate as much money as possible within the shortest period of time.
Yeah, and I love this exercise too because this is things I've done before and pulled crazy numbers out of a hat. Like before I even knew I was capable of doing that. So like one time, this was earlier last year when I was, kind of raising the price on the course here and there, and then
Your Facebook group course.
Yeah, on the Facebook group course, and then so at one point it was $297, and then I said, all right, guys, if you missed this, end of the month, whatever, it's going up to $497. And I did that, and I actually shut it down, and I was actually refusing a bunch of people that were like, no, I have the money. I'm ready to go. I'm like, sorry, man, you missed it. Like, I told you all month. Like, what can I do? And so they were just beating on my door, like, everybody. They were like, why aren't you taking my money? I'm like, sorry, man, like, I drew the line. And then what I decided to do about halfway through that month was, I said, all right, since all of you guys seem to miss everything else, I'm going to give you guys one more chance. We're going to do it at $397, and we're going to throw in this other bonus. So we did 48 hours open cart, and we made more money in that 48 hours than we did the whole previous month.
Boom.
And I was sitting in this Airbnb in Argentina all alone, and I'm just sitting there in this 48-hour period, and it's just like ping, ping, ping. I'm like, what is going on? And it was like that. Up until that point, I hadn't made money in that short of a time period. So I was like, okay, there's something to this. This is super crazy. So think about that, guys. Like, think about how you can force yourself and really draw boundaries and look at all the different things that you have to leverage, and it will make everything a whole lot easier. And I'm definitely curious, how did you do this in your business earlier on too?
Yeah. So first thing I did was definitely ask this question. By the way, that was a fucking awesome story, man. This dude drops so much value. Like, give us some punk rock signs in the comments. Let's keep it real. So I asked this question. And I asked this question in a moment where shit hit the fan. And I think I told you about this story too. So it was December 2016. I had intentions and plans to move Christina and I down here to St. Pete, Florida in May 2017. Mm-hmm. But the problem is, if I want to move my wife down from Norway and I live in Jersey, you're not just talking about moving someone over.
Yeah, it's not just a plane ticket.
No, you're talking about immigration. You're talking about healthcare. You're talking about insurance. You're talking about like the need and the mission critical need of creating a foundation that is sustainable and profitable in a short of a period of time.
Yeah.
So I didn't have time to spend around creating an online course, doing something low ticket anymore, just trying to fly by a wheel. And so the first thing that I realized is that out of everything that I was selling at the time, the number one thing is deciding that you want to make more money. And you really have to decide, because you could be generating $10,000 a month or $4 or $7 grand a month. And sometimes the only difference between where you are right now and generating an extra 20, 30 grand a month is just deciding that you want to make more money.
Yeah.
And so
it's crazy. Like, so I've seen that big time too. A lot of people get stuck there because, especially with how fast online business moves, and like a lot of us in here, we're pretty young. We haven't made this type of money up until this type of point. So it's like, if you're, 20-something and you've been used to a few $1,000s your whole life, and now you're making $10,000, you feel like a boss. You're like, I don't have to work that hard. I'm doing good. Like, why would I stretch and try and make 20, 30, 50, 100 if I'm good? I'm set. Like, I'm a baller right now. It has to be that kind of like realization that you can have more. That it's not just about you. It's about options. It's about freedom. It's about impact. So many different things you can do with that money. And then you figure out, okay, cool. I can provide some jobs. I can go bigger. I can go wider. I can make this happen if I decide to step into that. And that kind of moment of deciding to step into that opens your mind up to the possibility that you might just have, $50,000 a month next month. But if you're like, no, I'm cool with 10K, guess what? You're going to be at 10K every month for the rest of your life.
Yes.
Or less.
100%. So the first part is deciding, like, how much money do you want to make per month? And exactly how do you want your life to look like?
Leave a comment, guys. How much money do you want to make per month?
How much money do you want to make per month? And what do you want your ideal life to look like? I've worked with dozens of entrepreneurs, coaches, service-based entrepreneurs, and I hear it timelessly. These are more parents that say these things. Hey, I just had a son, or I just had a daughter, and my daughter and son are 1-year-olds, and I've just worked my entire first year of my son being born and my daughter being born, and I will never get that time back. And so you need to understand, and you get to understand, your business is nothing more than a financial vessel to create the life of your dreams. And so for you and I, Arnie, us, if you don't design your business around your lifestyle, you're going to ultimately design your lifestyle around your business.
Yep.
And eventually grow to resent everything that you're worth and everything that you're doing. So you owe it to yourself to really first and foremost decide what you want these things to look like. And so as I'm taking you through this entire process, what we're actually walking through is the process and methodology that I work with our clients through. It's the HVA method. So this first part that we're talking about here is differentiated between unshakable confidence, which we'll break down here in a sec, and vision. You have to decide what you want, but you have to be clear in intent on what you want your life to look like and your business to look like. If you don't have a strong enough why in order for you to generate an extra 20, 30 grand a month and do so sustainably, well, it goes back to a couple experiences that I've even seen with some of our clients. Client comes on board in the first month, they generate 12, 15, an extra 20, $47,000, 60 grand, but then 60 days into the program, they actually lose momentum and they stop. The biggest reason for this is because you might not have a big enough reason. Like your why is small in comparison to your vision. And in reality, you actually need your why to be bigger than your vision. And so for me at this point, I was around just 5 months left to make something work. But the motivation behind it was letting my wife down, letting the lady that I wanted to get married to down, and having to slip her news and say, hey, babe, like we can't move in together. And on the construct, feel less of a man. So that has a lot to deal with how I want to be perceived in the world, you know, the significance, confidence, all these things. And so for you, start thinking about why you want to get to 20, 30K a month, 50K a month. Why do you want to start attracting high-end clients? Like, why is this important to you? So that's vision. Another part of vision is core values, right? So you show up in a way in your life right now that may not be in alignment to the higher version of yourself. We were talking about this earlier when we were talking about your team and so a couple of things to put together. But like, you know, we say we might want to get high-end clients, but if you're not showing up in the world with clear constructs of your own values, the guiding sets of philosophies that guide your decisions, well, it's going to be impossible for the right person to align themselves with you and you feel completely aligned and in love with your business. You guys getting this so far? Just comment a yes in the comments below. So all this embodies vision, and the last part of vision embodies your goals. So you should have crystal clarity of your 30-day goals, your 90-day goals, like real specific targets that you want to hit in terms of revenue, units, clients, in terms of amount of times you hit the gym, certain body weights that you want to hit. Like, what are your goals for 30 days, 90 days, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, and your life? Because this is what we're designing here, as we're not just talking about getting high-end clients, but we're talking about how to get high-end clients to make sure that you can create a lifestyle that's sustainable and gives you more freedom so you can take care of your family and make a lot more money. So this is vision. When you have your vision set in stone, it's already going to increase your confidence. And so there's a huge difference between expertise and confidence. Expertise is being very knowledgeable at something and being good. Confidence is believing that you can provide a transformation to the market. So when you're going after and you're looking to attract and convert high-end clients, you cannot just simply raise your rates. You actually simply need to raise your confidence. You need to raise how you're showing up.
Totally.
You need to raise your rituals. You need to raise your standards. You can't sleep in and then decide, you know, I'm just going to charge 5K.
Yeah.
But you tell your client, I actually have a call with you scheduled at this certain time. So your confidence factor is your belief. So pay attention to your rituals.
I got a story on that one too. So one crazy moment that happened to me. This was very early on in my business. So in case you guys didn't know, I used to run digital agency. I used to broker services. I used to do copywriting, funnels, this, that, and the third. And very early on, I had a point. I was, I think, about 4 or 5 months into starting up. So I was very new. I was trying to figure everything out. And it was February of that year. I had a huge sale, $15,000 mobile app project. So I got a big fat commission on that. I was happy. I was pumped. And the next month, we had over a dozen consultation calls and 0 closed.
Jeez.
0.
Talk about a sales slope.
Yeah. And so I was so distraught on every call and the one following. I felt like my worth was diminishing. I felt like, oh, we're not good enough. My team's not capable enough. I'm not capable enough. Nobody likes me. Nobody trusts me, blah, blah, blah. Who wants to buy from somebody who thinks that on the phone? You know?
Yeah.
Like, if you got on the phone with that version of me, be like, I don't want to work with this guy. This guy is desperate, you know?
Yeah. People don't buy services. This is something for you to know. They don't buy services. They buy the person completely delivering the experience.
Yeah.
And it's not just a service, because what they're buying is the result.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They don't.
And so you guys probably want to hear I fix that, right? To get back on there, I had a talk with a buddy of mine, and he basically talked to me for like 2 hours straight, and he had been in the agency game for a few years before that, and he said, this is totally normal. There's nothing wrong with you. The only thing that's wrong is how you're viewing it. And the biggest thing he helped me understand was that, number one, yes, I was powerful. Yes, my team was powerful. And one thing that he said that has always stuck with me in sales and marketing was, if you can firmly believe that if somebody's talking to you and you think they're a good fit and they don't choose to work with you, that they would be worse off. And you have to have that unshakable confidence of like, man, I can really, really help this person. Like, I feel bad if they don't work with me, because I know I can get them to where they're going. So when you're so kind of like centered in that, and you have that confidence, and you go into a call like that, and you just listen like, is this the person that I can take to the moon? And then you figure out they are, you're like, yeah, I can definitely help these people. So you got to have that confidence going into it, and it will change everything. And another thing he had me do was write down so the opposite of those things that I was saying to myself before. So if it was things like, I'm not good enough, or my team's not good enough, they don't trust me, we don't have enough experience, whatever, he had me write down the opposite of all those things. And he said, all right, before you get on your next call, say this out loud and repeat this whole set of phrases until you feel it in your bones.
Yeah.
And it was like
a little bit of incantation there.
Yeah. So it was like, I am powerful. We are worth it. My team's talented. And then like, I'm powerful. My team's worth it. My team's talented.
I'm powerful.
Yeah. And you get on that call like, what's up?
Yeah.
So
long time no see.
Yeah. So it's like, it just gets you in the zone, gets you pumped up. So that's a cool exercise for you guys too. And we got some more here for you. So I'll let you get back into it. But dude, that's a cool exercise, right?
It really is, because we think too, like the easiest way to get high-end clients is just to focus on your marketing and just to focus on your branding. We are going to get into that, and we're going to get deep. We're going to
close yourself first.
Yes, 100%. You got to get your state in alignment.
Yeah.
So state management, when it comes to your confidence, is mission critical. And don't overlook that, because it's not just going to work for you as you're getting high-end clients. There's going to be a time, and this is to future pace, there will be a time where you're doing this right and you've gotten the biggest result that you generated for your business. When I started using the HVA method in my own business to generate on month 1 was like, we went from 6 grand to 12 grand, then 15 grand next month, then 22.2 grand and 34.4 grand. Then we brought teams in place and we went to 48,000, and we're just about ready to scale with a marketing funnel. Mm-hmm. We'll talk about that too as well. But when it comes to this confidence thing, there's going to be a moment where you generate the most amount of money you've ever done before, and your mindset is going to go to, was this a fluke? Will I be able to sustain this? Will I run my market dry? And these things are real. Same thing on the opposite end of the spectrum. When you're in a sales slump, every business at some point will go through a sales slump, true or false?
True.
Yeah, and so 90%, we were talking about this earlier, 90% of business is mindset. And it's understanding that in the midst of a sales slump, right, you got to control your confidence, your state, your mindset, your focus, your vision. So these two mission critical. The third part of what we call mindset reframing and high value habits, the third part is having a solid routine in place. You need to have a solid routine in place. And this sounds super basic, but it's mission critical, especially if you don't just want to do this once, but you want to do it sustainably. Mm-hmm. So when you have a routine in place, you take your 30-day goals. This is what I like to do. I take my 30-day goals, and then I use some form of time management, and a great tool to use that I highly recommend you go start using. And I'm not an affiliate for anything here, but the Productivity Planner. The Productivity Planner is a simple book where you can take your 30-day goals and you could break it down into 7-day goals, and then furthermore into daily actionable tasks that if you execute upon, you're only building momentum, eventually hitting your 7-day goals, right? You're hitting your 30-day goals, you're hitting your 90-day goals, your life's changing, you're evolving, becoming a greater version of yourself, and you're building a greater company. So
who puts that one out?
Intelligent Change. Actually, have it right here. Keep it by my desk.
Nice. I'll leave a comment for it. What is it?
It's called the Productivity Planner.
By who?
Intelligent Change. Like $24, $25 on Amazon. Well spent. We talked about mindset, right? We talked about really making sure that you have what are known as high value habits. And so these habits are not just do them one day and your life's going to change. You can't decide.
Yeah.
I didn't lose 110 pounds in 9 months by just going to the gym once. You have to do it consistently. And so these are habits, not do once and your whole life changes. So now that we've got this out the way, the second thing we want to break down is how to actually attract. What we want to be able to attract high-end clients, and we want to build real authority within your industry. So we're going to start skimming through the comments to go back up. Let's see what type of people we have on here, whether you're a coach, if you're a consultant, if you just sell an online course, if you're a service-based entrepreneur.
We got business growth consultant, influencer marketing, health, photography, marketing, payment processor company. What else? What else? That's what we got for comments. Guys, if you're on live and you want to get some free coaching, take advantage right now. Let us know as specifically as possible. Who are you? What do you do?
How much money do you make a month?
How much money do you make a month?
And how much money do you want to make a month?
How much money do you want to make a month? The more you can give us, the more we can give you. So please fill out some good answers down below. Don't just say I'm a coach. Like, okay, cool. We can't help as much, you know. We want to help you guys. So be specific. Drop a comment. Let us know. What do you do? Who do you help? How much do you make? How much do you want to make? And fun fact about you. I don't know.
So we were talking about earlier going through the process of how I got to a place where I'm generating $50K a month. And doing so consistently, not just one time, and then next month it's back to zero, but consistently and sustainably. I knew, just as you know, or you might have heard 50 times before, that you need to niche down. You have to get clear on the one person that you serve.
Just do it.
Just do it. Facebook should have like live emojis that pop up, like Oculus. Fire emoji, boom.
Can you do GIFs on live streams? No. I need like a Shia LaBeouf GIF going on right now. All right, I'm going to find a GIF that just says, just do it.
So you need
or an emoji. What do we got?
You need one ideal client. You need to know precisely and only one person that you not only can serve at the highest level, but you would truly enjoy working with the most. So I empathize with you for a moment. If you're an entrepreneur who right now is assuringly and knowingly working with clients that you don't truly enjoy working with. And I know how that's like because I'm sure you've also been there to yourself and it feels like death.
Yeah, gotta switch it up.
Yeah, 100%. So as an entrepreneur, you get to choose how much money you want to make. You get to choose a lifestyle you want to create. You also get to choose the person you want to work with.
All right, so we got a good answer here. Emily says copywriting and social media marketing for business coaches. 6K currently, want to take it to double.
So when you're getting clear on your ideal client, most entrepreneurs make the mistake, and I've been there myself, in thinking about 3 or 4 different types of people who resemble one ideal client. Mm-hmm. But the reality is your ideal client is actually a real person. It's not a variety of people trying to combine them and get clear on one person. It's one person. So if you get this right, you know, your marketing, your messaging, your branding, your positioning, your sales calls, the way you deliver, it's going to be 10 times different than trying to take 5 people and combine them. So choose one person. For example, we have a copywriter here. As a copywriter, is there a specific type of person that you previously worked with in the past that you really wish you can work with more of? And so get clear on a name. Get clear on this person. And then start taking her through, or him through, a series of questions to get clear on, before working with you, what were these people's pains? Mm-hmm. What were their problems? Like, allow them to tell you what the issue is. Don't assume you know what's the issue. Yeah. Right? And so I want to spend a bit more time here, because if you get this right, everything else in your business, through that, specifically when it comes to high-end clients, becomes a lot more effortless.
We are a little tight on time, so just a heads up. Can't go for a full hour this round.
Okay, perfect. So compliments of the magician here. Going to have to speed through this, but if you want to learn more about what it is that we're talking about and how it's going to apply for your business, then I would highly recommend that you just simply start. I think there's something that people can type in the chat.
Yeah, if you guys want to type high value, Anthony's not got a guide for you guys too. We can send over. Can't cover everything today. I would just sit here for 3 hours and run through the whole thing, but that's what he gets paid to do. So you guys are going to have to pay up if you want the whole thing.
So I'll just kind of skim through this, right? You're clear on your ideal client. Once you're clear on the words your ideal client uses to define themselves, the second thing you need to do is move away from doing a bunch of stuff.
Yes. So oh my gosh, that's it. So that's what I'm saying a million times over. When I start talking to people, start figuring out how I can help them in their business, I'm like, okay, cool. You know, the very first thing we do is figure out their past performance and what they've sold, what different types of offers, or the price points, what was this, what was that. Every single time, they always have 1 or 2 big winning offers, and then like 10 other weird ways that they've made money. It's weird. And I totally used to be like that too. I counted, and I've made money 25 different ways as an entrepreneur or contractor in the last 7 years.
That's nuts.
25 different ways.
25 different ways.
And I only made 6 figures doing 2 of those ways.
That's like Russell Brunson from all the companies he started before he actually went serious on ClickFunnels. Yeah. That's nuts.
and everybody has that, but it's just being real with yourself and taking a look at that. Like, sure, you can go promote, you know, give your friend your affiliate link for whatever, but if you make $12 a year affiliate marketing, don't even worry about it. Put your energy literally anywhere else.
Yeah, like getting high-end clients is about positioning. You need to be positioned so that you're a specialist. Like, imagine you had a brain tumor for a moment. You have to go to a brain specialist, but you're talking to the brain specialist, and the brain specialist says, like, I could sit with you on Mondays and Wednesdays. You ask for an appointment on Thursday, and you're like, actually, I can't do on Thursday because I'm a relationship coach on Thursday. And you're like, but what about then Friday because I'm off of work? And he's like, well, I'm actually going to be working the car wash business that I own. Like, it's crazy. So, like, if you're a coach for a variety of different types of people, if you're a marketer who helps a variety of different types of people, you've got to get you positioned so that you're talking to one person and you have an offer that's positioned that you're providing high value transformation, a high value result that will enable you to charge somewhere between $3,000 and $10K as an entry, supplemented with continuity on the back end, and possibly even a bigger offer like $25K plus. You know, one of our clients, big guy, those of you who might know him, give me a thumbs up in the comment section, Scott Olford. When we were working and consulting with his company, we didn't have, first and foremost, a higher end back end offer. So a lot of businesses leave a bunch of money on the table. They leave a lot of transformation on the table because they're focusing just on, hey, I'm going to work with you over the course of 3 months, every week, one-on-one. Versus I take single guys from single to in the relationship of their dreams, in 90 days or less, and put a process in place and put an offer in place that's methodical, results driven, and proven to deliver that result. Third thing you need here is the proper messaging and branding. And a lot of people get this wrong. This is the difference.
Way wrong.
Yes.
Guys, type your, so you know your personal Facebook profile, you got a little bit of room for a bio in there. Anybody who's watching this, made it to this point, we've got 15 people on live, which are a lot more on the replay. I will give you personalized feedback on your Facebook bio. Probably after the stream, we got to get running a little bit, but type your current bio in on this live stream. I'll give it a review. That is your new business card. That is your new website. Because when people check you out and your bio is like, I like dogs and traveling. It's like, okay, cool. I like dogs and traveling too, but who the hell are you? You know, so you got to figure out how you can nail that down and get that going completely immediate split second. People are going to judge you. Give them something good to judge you for. You know what I mean? So leave your bio below. I'll check those out later.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to just be your bio. It can also be your cover photo.
Yep.
The biggest things you want to pay attention to, though, because you can have all these nice shiny objects in place, proper bio, proper cover photo, but a lot of you are simply creating content and it's missing context. And so when it comes back to your ideal client, you know, you got to think about this person's pains, their problems. The context in your content should illuminate what their problems are, what their pains are, what's the consequence of them not solving these challenges are, the proper use of stories, the proper use of teaching, the proper use of knowing the difference between leveraging your personal wall and leveraging Facebook groups, leveraging JV partnerships, referral partnerships, like doing the thing to be high value, to get a following and a brand associated with seeing you as a real leader and a real authority in your space, where at first it might take you a little bit more effort to post some content, go out, reach out to people, start real conversations, real relationships, not pitch them an MLM opportunity or your coaching or bad, very bad. Please don't. But do so in a way that's genuine. The natural byproduct are people who are going to want to help, ask you for help. So that's number one. They'll want you to help them. The second thing that's going to happen is as you're being of high value, the moment you actually know how to write a good offer with content, you can tell an offer in a Facebook Live if you do it correctly. You could switch the frame from just posting content to giving that right hook hard, making the offer, and watch as your calendar starts to fill up with calls. So this is the reason why if a client comes on board and you know they're stuck at $6,000 and we get them in this process of using what we call perfect client attraction, once they do perfect client attractions is pre-converting that market to see you as an authority. So when you make an offer, people want to buy.
Yep.
And people are ready to spend something that's not low ticket, $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 plus.
Yeah, and a lot of times the thing about this is people don't put as much value on social media as they should. Like if you are a numbers geek, you're looking at, okay, I got this many leads, this happened here, okay, blah, blah, blah. I got this many sales. But you're not looking at all the factors of conversion that aren't metrics. These are things like, have you had a messenger conversation with this person before? Have they seen you on a publication? Have they gone to an event you spoke at?
How many messages did you start with people this week?
Yeah.
How many pieces of content did you start this week?
Yes. If you're a numbers person, put those metrics up. You know, how many speaking gigs you get? How many podcasts you get?
How many offers did you make?
Yep.
How many offers converted?
And real quick, guys, if you have not made an offer today, go out, make that your homework before the end of today.
You even let me make an offer on the video just to literally get you to download the blueprint.
Yeah, of course. First step, guys. That's getting in there. So tell me a little bit more about the blueprint. What's in there that's not in here? What's so awesome about it?
Yeah, so actually just on the topic of perfect client attraction, I actually go into depth on 6 organic types of posts that you want to utilize in both a Facebook group, assuming it's allowed. Read the group rules. Don't assume. Don't be a salesy type of person. But you could totally check out those 6 organic post types. We go deeper into actually really uncovering who your perfect client is, who you want to attract. But we also go a lot more deeper on this next element here that we talk about, which is called transformational enrollment. And When I say this next couple things, we actually might decrease in the amount of people who are here, so I'm looking forward to it. But if you want to sell something that is high-end, you have to get people on a phone call.
I'm out. I'm out.
You know what? Me too, man. Like, if you have something against sales, if you're afraid of it, if you've had an experience in the past where you've been pushed or you felt burnt, a couple things. Number one, you have to get over it, because entrepreneurship is about evolving into a higher version of yourself. It's not just judging the future based on what happened in the past, but looking at the present moment based on where it is you want to go. That's the abundance mindset versus scarcity. So if you had a bad experience, get over it. Next, if you hate sales, it's probably because you're not good at it, or you've never actually learned how to do it effectively.
Or take a no like a boss.
Take a no like a boss, 100% from the back.
Yes.
Yes. Rabbit hole for another time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So transformational enrollment, and I've had the pleasure to work with a variety of powerful leaders in influence, people who have been trained by the best. Tony Robbins, you know, a lot of good power players. And so their teaching of sales is going to be a lot different than people like Grant Cardone. And there's a reason for it. Sales is not about closing people. Most people get caught up in that, and that's why they're afraid of it. Sales is not about getting money. If you're afraid to charge high values because you're too focused on you. Sales is the highest version of service. And so I don't call it sales, I call it transformational enrollment.
There's the quote, guys.
Because this sales process should not be the traditional talk for 80% of the time, ask questions for 20% of the time, and then close. It's actually the adverse. It's about asking questions for 80% of the time to guide an influence-driven conversation to help you and your potential client to build clarity, to build trust, and to build strategery, putting that as a new word now, between where they currently are right now and where they want to go. So you're asking questions to build clarity. You're helping them get clear as to where they want to go and why it's important. You're helping them get clarity on things that are no longer working for them. And then you, as a service provider or coach, someone who really wants to serve at the highest level, at this point towards the ending of the call, where most people start getting palm sweats, you get palm sweats because you're thinking about the close. But what you should be thinking about is, does this person really need what it is that I have to offer? Like, can I really help this person? And if you could help this person, then another frame of service is inviting that person to want to learn more about how what you do is the thing they need next, right? If you solve people's brain tumors and you can remove them, that's a person's life that you can save. So you should invite that person to come on board and work with you. I don't want to get too much deeper just because of time's sakes, but the sale is not about a close. If it's not a good fit, energetic reasons, expertise reasons, then you should be building connections with other people inside of your market so you can refer people. You know, we've generated about an extra $5,000 to $10,000 a month within our own company just from building referral partnerships, getting people on a phone call, inviting them to the phone call, and then letting them know openly and honestly, hey, we're not the people that you should be working with. And this is the person that I truly believe to the depths of my being that you should go have a conversation with. And if they say it's a good fit, take action on it. So to have a transformational enrollment process, you do need a sales script. You do need a sales script. And your sales script is not for you to use verbatim. It's for you to use as a guide. Major difference. Most people, I've worked with closers, coaches, I've worked with bigger teams. Most people will rely on the script to do the heavy lifting. And it's not true. You could ask the perfect question, but if the perfect question is supplemented with the wrong frame, you lose the impact.
100%.
So the sales script is there to ensure that you have a natural, organic conversation that is leading people in a better direction. Next thing you need is role playing. And not role playing with friends of yours who are not experienced in sales, never took sales calls, but you need real experience role playing with people who truly understand how to convert high-end clients. Because that person is going to be able to point out what you're doing wrong, what you're doing well, and what you can do to improve. Third thing and last thing you need when it comes to a transformational enrollment process is you need a system to track your numbers. There's a reason why every single car has a speedometer on it. It's to let you know how fast you're going, how much faster you should be going, sometimes how much more slower you should be going. So the numbers you should be tracking inside of your business are everything in terms of calls booked, amount of calls you book per week, amount of calls that show up, amount of offers you make on calls, amount of offers that closed, amount of sales generated, and money collected. Once you have all this, you're genuinely making more money. You're attracting more clients. You're able to enroll those clients. And just imagine how this would impact your business. Last but not least, for you to get to 50K a month, 20K a month, 30K a month, there comes a point where you have to transition away from working with clients one-on-one or being the person who does the service. And you have to transition into being able to work with more people without sacrificing quality service and putting the right people and tools in place so you have proper systems and structures. So we call this retention and delivery. For every client that you enroll on the phone, this whole experience is delivering a high value experience. But the first thing that person is wondering after they've given you the credit card and they've built momentum, they have a breakthrough, they have a transformation, they wonder what's next. So you do need a client onboarding process in place. And it needs to be so clear that one day it's duplicatable and it could be replaced from another person. So at first you do all this, and then eventually you get to this place, and because you're making money, and you have a lot more money up front, there's more profitability in your business versus selling something lower ticket, so you can hire someone who can take a lot of this heavy lifting away from you. So client onboarding, number one. Number two, client delivery. The way you deliver the service. If you're a one-on-one coach, you know, it could be moving from one-on-one to building together more of a mentorship-driven methodology that helps people be led up the mountain and incorporates more like a members area, videos. It could be a live intensive where it enables you to just basically work with more people at the right time, provide them the same result, and give them more support by possibly even bringing someone else in. Mm-hmm. So we did the same exact thing for our company. I was the person delivering everything up front, doing things one-on-one. Then from there, I moved it to a group model, made sure there was stronger systematization. And then I got to a point where I brought on a virtual assistant. And then from the virtual assistant, started bringing on different types of coaches that can help strengthen the process and strengthen the result. Last thing you need is just systems and tools.
Like I said, guys, that's literally the last thing. Everything else is much more important.
Yeah, this is the last thing. Most people want to spend time on this. They want to spend time on sales. They want to spend time on attracting clients. But remember, when it comes full circle, it starts with you. If you want to get high-end clients, you need to be a high-end person. You need to be a higher valued version of yourself. To do that, you need unshakable confidence. You need the right vision, right? And you need to have the proper routine in place. If you don't have these things, when things hit the fan in your business, you know, you're going to be there for a longer period of time. And eventually, if you stay there for too long, your business could go south to the point of bankruptcy. And you don't deserve that. Next, once you have your mindset in place, you need to know precisely who your one ideal client is. Just one person. You need to have a good, strong offer where you can charge anywhere between $3,000 to $10,000, maybe some continuity, maybe a $25,000 offer on the back end, so that you can engineer strongest and highest profitability in your company as soon as possible whilst delivering transformational results. To get these people on a phone call, you need the right messaging, branding, and storytelling. You know, we didn't talk too much about storytelling, but it is mission critical. And I won't go too deep into the weeds here, but story sell. They sell you to your market. They sell the opportunity for people to build a relationship with you. So stories rock and roll. But this is meant to attract people to see you as a leader, as an authority, and book quality potential client calls with you. And to do this, you don't need a website. You don't need an email list. You don't need a webinar. You don't even need a blueprint. I didn't even have a freaking logo till I got to 30K a month and was doing it consistently. And I only built a Facebook group because I had too many messages going out on my Facebook inbox, and I needed a more succinct way to communicate with more people. Facebook group is high ticket client businesses. If you would like to join that, actually you might be able to type it in there. But if you're attracting people, then you need to know how to enroll those people. You need to know how to convert those people ethically into a high-end client, or to at least refer them in a direction systematically. And then lastly, you need to have the right retention and delivery process in place, so that way you're able to enjoy your business and not feel almost like a slave to it. And
True that.
That's it.
That's it. Sound good, guys? So if you guys found this valuable, go ahead and make sure to check out the group. Type high value below. Maybe send Anthony a friend request if he has any space left. And would love to hear what you guys had as a takeaway from the stream. We covered a whole lot of stuff in here, and I could, point to a lot of things that I thought were really good and really important. All of it's really good and really important. I want to hear from you guys. Let me know your thoughts below on what's one thing that really stood out and one thing that you want to work on based off of this information as well. So let me know in the comments, and we'll get you going. But we got to run. We got to meet up in Tampa. So if you're in Tampa, we are not bailing on you. We're heading over there right now. I'll see you soon. And yeah, thanks so much for stopping by, man.
Dude, appreciate it.
For sure.
Thanks for everything. Hope you guys found this valuable. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Catch you later, MEC.